Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. Today's video is going to be showing you how to make one of these really cute, pretty beaded butterflies. So this is what it looks like, and it's kind of 3D, it's not completely flat. So this is what they look like, and this is the other one. So I'm going to be showing you how to make one of these, so keep watching. Okay, so to make one of these butterflies you will need some seed beads size 11, and you're going to need a colour that you want the body of the butterfly to be, so I'm just using this brown colour that's got a rainbow finish on it. You'll also need some size 11 seed beads in two different colours for the wings, because I'm going to show you how to do like this with the two contrasting colours. So I'm using a navy and this lighter kind of bluey purpley colour because they contrast really well. So you'll also need some beading thread, and I'm using Fireline today. You'll also need your beading needle, and that's it really, so let's get started. So you're going to begin by threading your needle, and I've just threaded like quite a bit of thread, and all these pieces like the body and the four wings are all made separately and then joined together. So I'm going to have a lot of excess thread when I finished the first part, which is the body, but I'll just re-thread my needle back onto the piece that I cut off and keep using it until there's none left. So I don't know exactly how much you'll need for this, but that's how I do it. So I just cut a long piece to start with and then just keep working with that until I run out. Okay, so we're going to start with the body, and first of all, before I start actually I wanted to say that you can do this two different ways. The way I'm going to be showing you is with one needle attached to one end of the thread, but you can do this with two needles attached at both ends, or just by using the two ends of the threads to thread the beads. I'm not doing that because I really don't like working like that. I just like to work with one needle all the time. I don't like working with two needles, I find it fiddly and I can't really do it very well, so I'm not going to be showing you how to do that. But if you're familiar with that kind of technique where you cross your two threads through the beads and pull them down, if you know what I mean, if you're familiar with that technique, then you could go ahead and do that. It is quicker if you can get the hang of it, but I've always found it really tricky, so I just work with one needle. So I just wanted to say that because I'm probably going to get some comments like, why didn't you do it with two needles? But that's why. So to start with, we're going to pick up one bead. Let me just zoom right in. I'm going to pick up one of your seed beads that you're using for the body of the butterfly, slide that down, just leaving a couple of inches, a few inches, you know, enough so that you can tie a knot at the end. And then you're going to hold that one bead there, pick up two more, keep them on your needle, and sew through that bead in the opposite side to make a circle. So you've got this. Now you're going to sew back through those two that you just added. Oops. So back through those two we just added. Now we have this. Now you're going to pick up two more. And you're coming out this one here, you're going to go back into that top one and go back through those two one more time, like that. They'll probably sit on the top like that, and you want to sort of fold them over, encourage them to sit like side by side with those two. So you're coming out at the bottom of these two, so you're going to go up through those two we just added, like that. So you've got this. Now you're going to go through that one single bead that's at the bottom that we started with. So you're coming out this side, so you're going to go into it on that side. And then back through those two that we were just coming out of. pull that tight, push your thumb right up against that last bead that you added, and now you've got this. So you've got these 4 beads sitting on top of that single one at the bottom. So that's where we should be. So now you're going to pick up 3 beads. I'm coming out of these 2 at the back here on this side. I'm going to go back into them on the other side, like that. So they just sort of sit on the top like that. Now I'm going to go back through those 3 I just added. So back through those 3 that we just added. So now we've got this and we're coming out of those top 3 that we just added. You're going to pick up 3 more. And I'm coming out this side of those 3, so I'm going to go back into the other side, go through all 3 of them again. Like that, and your beads here might sit on the top, they might flip around the back, but you want them to sit on the front. Like that. So when you look on the top, you're coming out the back, and they sit on the front, and then you're going to go through those 3 that we just added. So take your needle through those 3. Now you can see how this is not attached to that row below, so it is kind of optional, but I like to connect it all together. So I'm coming out of these 3, I'm going to go through those 2 below, like that, and then back up into those 3 on the top. Okay, now pull it tight and everything's all joined together. Okay, so now we're coming out of these 3 at the front. I'm going to turn it around so that we're coming out of the back now. I'm going to pick up 3 again, and I'm going to go back into that 3 that I'm coming out of, but on the other side, like that. There they are. And then I'm going to go through those 3 we just added, pull it tight. Got this, pick up another 3. And I'm coming out this side of that 3, I'm going to go through it on the other side like that. See how mine tried to sit on that side? This time you need to flip them over so that they're sitting on the front. And then you're going to sew through those 3 that we just added and pull it tight. So now I've got this, and again this top row that we just added is not attached at all to the row below, so I'm coming out of these 3, I'm going to go through the 3 below. Like that, and then back up into the 3 on the top. Now we have this. I'm going to turn it round again so that my thread's coming out at the back row, and I'm going to do the same thing again, picking up 3, going through those 3 that you're coming out of, sewing through those 3 we just added, picking up 3 more, and sewing through the 3 that we're coming out of. Make sure they sit at the front. You're going to sew through those 3 that we just added, and then it's gone all loose, so I'm going to put my thumb up against that last bead and pull it tight. So now I'm going to go through the 3 in the row below and back up through those top 3 beads. Pull it tight and everything's all joined together. Now we're going to decrease back down to 2, so I'm going to turn it around again so that I'm coming out of the back row. I'm going to pick up 2 and do the same thing, go through those 3 that I'm coming out of. Then up into the 2 that just added. Now I'm going to pick up 2 more. I'm going to go through the 2 that I'm coming out of on the opposite side. They've stacked right on top this time. Put them down and go through those 2 that we just added. So now we've got this, and they kind of want to sit up there, so now I'm going to go through the 3 in the row below, like that, and back up into those 2 above. Pull it tight, and we've got this. Okay, now we're going to do another row of adding 2s. So I've turned it round again so that my thread's at the back row. Picking up 2, go through those 2 you're coming out of on the opposite side, back up into the 2 you just added, pick up 2 more, go through the 2 that you're coming out of on the opposite side, back up into those 2 you just added, pull it all tight. Now you can join them to the row below, so we're going to go through 2 in the row below and back up into the 2 above. Okay, so we've got this. Now we're going to go back up to add in 3. Turn it round again. So I'm picking up 3, I'm coming out of these 2, I'm going to go into them on the other side. And then I'm going to sew through those 3 that I just added. Pull it tight, it's like this. I'm going to pick up 3 more. I'm going to sew through those 3 that I'm coming out of on the opposite side. Make sure they flip round to the front and sew through the 3 I just added. Like this. And I'm going to sew through that row, the 2 in the row below. Back through those 3 I just added. Turn it round again, pull it really tight. Got this. Now you're going to do exactly the same thing again, add in another row of 3s. So I'm going to go pretty quick, so I'm going to pick up 3, go through those 3 that I'm coming out of, sew back through 3 we just added, pick up 3 more, sew through the 3 that I'm coming out of, sew back through those 3, sew through the 3 in the row below, and back up into the ones we just added. Put it tight. Now we have this. Got one more row to do, and that's just a row of adding 2s. So turn it around again. Picking up 2. Coming out these 3 at the back, gonna go through them from the other side, up into the 2 just added, pick up 2 more, gonna go through those 2 on the other side, back up into the 2 we just added, making sure to flip them over so they sit at the front, and then I'm going to go through the 3 in the row below. And back up into the 2 on the top. Pull it tight. And now we've got this, and this is the finished body. So to make the wings, it's the same exact technique. So I'm going to guide you through the first bit a little bit, and then I'll just be telling you how many you're adding on each row and the colour pattern. Okay, so before you move on to the wings, you just want to tie off this thread, and I'll just do that by sewing down through a couple of rows, and then on the side here I'll tie a knot by putting my needle under that bridge of thread, pull it through till there's just a small loop, and then go through that loop 2 times, and then pull it down until you feel the knot tighten, and then move your needle on through more beads so that that knot disappears inside, and then go ahead and tie as many as you'd like and cut your threads off. Okay, so now we're going to do the wings, and first of all you need to decide which colour you want to be your outside colour, which is the pink here, and which colour you want to be the middle, which is this yellowy colour. So I'm going to do the darker colour, the navy, as the outside, and this lighter colour in the inside. So like I said, it's the exact same technique as what we were doing before. So for the first wing, I'm going to start with the top wings, the smaller ones. You're going to pick up one of your outside colour, slide it down. And this is on a new piece of thread, by the way. And then I'm going to pick up 2, and I'm going to go through that one that we just added, back through the 2, pick up 2 more, and go back into those 2 that I'm coming out of on the opposite side, back up into the 2 just added, and then kind of flip them over. So they're sitting at the front like that. You're going to sew through that 1 bead underneath and back up into the 2 on the top. So now when you pull it all tight, you've got this. Okay, so now because you already know the technique from doing the body, I'm just sort of going to tell you like the colour pattern and the amount for each row. So for this first row, and a row is like the 2 sides of it, so this 2 and this 2, that's 1 row. So when you look at it at the side, like that's 1 row, that's the bottom row, that's the second row, so on. So for this next row you're going to pick up 3 beads, and you're going to do dark, light, dark. That's same for the front and for the back. So you're going to go ahead and add those on. I'm going to do that quickly. Pull it tight after each row. So we have this. Next row we're going to pick up 4 beads. We're going to pick up dark, light, light, dark. So that's your colour pattern. So go ahead and add your 2 groups of 4. So now we've got this. Now we're going to add another row exactly the same, 2 lots of 4. So pick up dark, light, light, dark, and add your 2 front and back. So we have this. Your next row is going to be a row of 3s, picking up dark, light, dark. So add your 2 lots of 3s. Okay, now we've got this. Your next row is a row of 2s, and this time it's just 2 of your darker colour. for the front and the back, so add 2 lots of 2s. Now I have this, and now I'm just going to add a single 1 bead on the top. So I'm going to do that by picking up 1. I'm coming out of the back 2 here. I'm going to go into the front 2 on this opposite side, so I'm sort of crossing diagonally over and coming through these 2 on the front. Now I'm going to go up into that bead that we just added and into the back 2. That's the only one it's not connected to. Pull it tight and you should have this. Now you need to make another one exactly the same, so if you want to rewind and follow that colour pattern again, you need another one exactly the same as this. Okay, so once you've done that and you've got 2 wings, these are your 2 top wings. Now you need to make your 2 bottom wings, and it's the same technique, and I'm just going to tell you now what the colour patterns are, and they're just a little bit bigger. So for the bottom wings you need to start with a row of 1, then 2s, and then a row of 4s, all in your darker colour. The next row is dark, light, 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 dark, and that's 5 beads. The next row is 6 beads, and that's dark, light, 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 dark. The next row is 5 beads again, and it's dark, light, 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 dark. The next row is 4 beads, and that's dark, light, light, dark. And then you go back down to 2 beads, straight down to 2 beads, and that's just dark, dark. I'm finishing with that 1 single bead on the top. So that is the colour pattern for the larger wings, so you need to do 2 of those using that same technique. And I'm actually going to put the colour pattern for the small wings and the large wings in the description below, so if you want to see it written down, just like the colours and the amounts of beads in each row, you can follow it there. Okay, so once you've made all 4 of your wings, you should have these. So you've got the 2 smaller ones and the 2 bigger ones, so they're the bottom ones. And I'm going to show you how to attach them now to the body that we made at the start. So you want your body to be facing this way, so you've got that 1 single bead that comes to a point at the bottom, and it ends with the groups of 2 on the top. So you want the single bead at the bottom. And you're going to thread your needle back onto one of your wings in the top point bead. You want to be coming out of that top single bead there. You're going to pick up your body, and this is one of the smaller beads. This is going to be at the top like this. So I'm just going to sort of hold them together like that. So we're coming out of this one here, and in the middle of your body you've got these 2 groups of 2. You can see that? You're going to go into that top group of 2 like that. Now you're coming out of this group of 2 here, you're going to go back through that next group of 3. It's above the row above. And now you're going to move back into your wing in the second row, so this row of 2. Like that. Now I'm going to go back through that single bead underneath, back through the 2 on the body that we went through last time. And that's the first wing attached. So now I'm going to weave this thread through, tie some knots and tie off both of these threads. Okay, and then you're going to thread your needle onto your second of the top wings. And you should be coming out of that point bead, that bottom single bead, so line it up so you're coming out of it this way, so you need to line it up so you're going to be, so the thread's coming out of it pointing towards the piece. So I'm going to hold it like this again, and I'm coming out of that single bead. I'm going to go back into the body through that same group of 2 that I attached the other wing to. So I'm going to go back through that group of 2 there in the middle, up into that row of 3 which is above it, and then back into the wing in the second row, so through those 2 dark beads. Pull it really tight. So back through the single bead at the bottom and back through the 2 on the butterfly. And that's our second wing attached. So again, I'm going to tie off both these threads and then I'll show you the next one. Okay, so I've threaded my needle onto my next one. Make sure you're coming out of that top bead, not the one at the bottom here that's got 3 rows of solid dark. You just want to be at the top where you've just got the 2 rows of dark beads. So I'm coming out of that one on the top, and make sure your thread's coming out this way facing the piece, like that. I'm going to hold it like this again, and this time there's that group of 2 that the top wings are attached to, so the row below that, the other group of 2, you're going to be going through that. So I'm going to go through that group of 2 there, like that, and then into the row below through those 3 below. Oops. And then we're going to go through the next row on the butterfly, on the wing, sorry. Like that, back through the single bead and back through that group of 2 in the body of the butterfly. And now we've got this, and we're going to tie off these threads and then add the final wing. Okay, so I'm just going to add the last wing here. So I'm coming out of that top bead again, make sure that the thread is facing the piece, like that. So I'm coming out here, I'm going to go through that group of 2 that my other bottom wing is attached to. And then through that row of 3 below. And then back into the wing through the group of 2. And then pull it tight. Go back through the 1 and back into the body of the butterfly. And there we have it. So now I'm going to tie my threads and then we're all finished. So there we have it, that's the finished butterfly. So that's what it looks like. And here's the others that I made. I think they look really nice when you use 2 different bright contrasting colours like these. So I hope you're able to make one of these, and comment down below what else you'd like to see. Subscribe to see more of my videos and like this video if you enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram at Beading by Hannah and share with me anything that you make there. I always love to see all the things that you make from my videos, and thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Bye!